Hey YouTube, we're going to Daniel 10 today. If you haven't read it, I wish you would have before you saw this, but you can still do it. It's okay. I won't hold it against you or anything. Sorry, the sun's getting in here, so maybe we'll go over here. Anyway, the sun's all messed up. Lighting is never right, huh? Because if the light in you is darkness, how great is that darkness? That's a pretty cool saying, huh? I sometimes wonder if it's about 503Cs. But enough about them. We're talking about Daniel. So, back in Daniel's time, he had this, he went through some Lion's Den stuff, and there's good stuff in there. You can read the whole book, but in some of that, towards the end, there was a lot of kind of like now, a lot of things happening. And if you're kind of spiritually in tune, and I'm going to go on two sides on that. You see, do you remember that movie that was such a successful movie around the world? Set records. One of the first lines in the movie was, "Come to the dark side, Luke." And there was tons of fans who were lined up around it. In fact, my brother was on it. He was totally into it. But I'm not holding it against him. There's a lot of people doing it. I know, I just wasn't the space stuff, so I'm just whatever. But I've got a point here, see. The thing about it all is that not only did he say, "Come to the dark side, Luke," but who was that said that? It was his dad. What does that mean? Does that mean he was created evil? I don't know, but it seems like it's almost like a secret part of the story. I don't know, but if you look at that movie, it would be really interesting. I've never studied or anything. I'm just guessing because now that I've seen some of the stuff that's going on in Hollywood where he is she and she's eating a lot, it just gets so... I don't even want to see anybody anymore. I watch the news and, now wait a minute, I thought those were women that I was watching. Are you serious? Wow. I thought she was pretty good looking, but what the heck? That's kind of scary. Anyway. It was similar times back then. And Daniel was a prophet. He was going through a lot of stuff. A lot of hard times, with, those kind of 503C church people. You know what I'm saying? So, he decided, you know what? I'm just going to, start going for a full-on fast, 21 days. That's a long time to go without eating. And, he was really strict with it. So what he did was no water and nothing to eat for 21 days. So we all need to do that right now. I'm just kidding. Really, I'm just kidding. Nobody try that. It was just a joke. I was trying to lighten things up a little bit. Keep us, counting it all joy. Because, if we get too down and I'm thinking about all these bad things and whatever. So, 21 days was what he decided he was going to fast. So, he made the fast like a special fast. It was between him and God, really, but it writes down what it was. Because if you read Matthew 5, those are the most successful fasts when you really need something done. If you need, you got some demons that are bugging you, got too much pride, or even if you're a full-on alcoholic, I'm not, I'm saying there's all kinds of different ones. But what I'm trying to say is kind of important because we're talking about a kingdom right here. You know what I'm talking about? And the kingdom is at hand. And everybody's trying to figure out who the president is. You know, that president of the United States? Or is it Israel? I'm not sure. Anyway, did you see in Washington the other day the Washington, D.C. cop in that little thing with Trump? That he had a cop uniform, and he was one of those like military kids from the Israeli military, like 20 years old. And on the cop uniform, it had a war American flag next to an Israeli flag. So we're not at war. Yeah. Peace, peace. Just come wear a mask. It's all good. Okay, so since we know something's going on, and we know that Daniel, he knew something was going on, and he decided to fast for 21 days. And he did a secret fast, but he wrote it down. And what he said was, hey, God, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to eat, like, you know, some veggies, something to, like, give me something so I got some strength. But I'm not going to eat what the kings and them eat. The kings, like, servants and stuff, right? And he did for 21 days. The servants came over to him like, dude, what's up? Are you stealing some food or what's up? He's like, what are you talking about? Because he was on this secret fast. So he didn't, like, you know, want to, like, reveal it. So I was like, what are you talking about? I'm like, man, something's up with you, man. I know you're cheating. I bet you're going out eating some burritos after work or something. Something's up. I know something's up because there's no way you like make them special. That we're eating the stuff over here, man. We got steaks and everything. Dude, you're looking hot. I mean, like, you're looking sharp. You're like cut. You're like, wow. I'm like, your skin's got like my perfect color. It's like, what are you doing? What's going on? What are you doing? Are you sneaking out or what's going on? And he said, no, I was just eating like this, and I thought it'd be healthy. They were blown away. But that's not the main part of the story. The main part of the story is that after 21 days, the angel Gabriel came to him and talked to him. Wow, how's that? I'd like to pray 21 days and see that. You know what I mean? And when the angel Gabriel came and talked to him, he said to him, God has heard your prayer. From the first day that you fasted and prayed, God sent me to bring you this message. But there was a delay. And he was like, a delay? God's, the all-powerful God sent you? And we had some technical difficulties? What are we on? AI? I'm just kidding. But he was kind of confused. Like, what's going on here? And the angel said, well, when I got on my way, I got stuck and had to start wrestling. Wrestling? What are you talking about? Yeah, this Prince of Persia. Prince of Persia. Yeah. A prince is a demon that rules an entire country. Whoa! I've never heard of those in a 503Cs. That's really interesting, isn't it? Okay, back to the subject now. Let's focus, because we are talking about Daniel. So the angel says, I was wrestling for 21 days, but because you kept fasting and praying for 21 days, God sent some backup power, and he brought in the angel Michael, the archangel. And Michael's a pretty good wrestler. You know, that's why they call him Ark. So what happened was Michael wrestling with Prince. Kind of like, was that wrestling thing? I used to really wrestle, like real, but I wasn't really into that fake stuff. But you know, so they had that tag team thing where they'd like tag out or whatever, tap out, or I don't remember which one it was. Kind of like that. You know what I'm saying? And so suddenly, Michael's fighting the Prince, a huge demon. And Gabriel comes down to give the message. And guess what? That message is about right this minute. How's that? So, if Jesus is the bridegroom and we are the bride, I don't think we should be kicking back waiting for a rapture. Because I'm sad to tell you, I discovered years ago, because I used to really believe in it, looked up all the doctrines, everything, and it's a lovely fairy tale. And I think it was done by Walt Disney. But anyway, I want you to focus. Another thing about Left Behind, that whole Left Behind thing, you know, that whole rapture, like, motivator thing. Okay. Does anybody know who Sun Myung Moon is? He had started the Moonies. And a lot of people don't think they're with God. I don't know. I didn't study that much about him. But he gave millions of dollars to Tim LaHaye, who wrote Left Behind, one of the biggest rapture pumpers. Anyway, I met Tim LaHaye, and he told me that he knew Jesus was going to come before he died. And he died. So that would be another one of those peace, when there's no peace kind of things. You don't like to listen to those people. It's time to listen to truth now. We've had a lot of lies, and we've got 7 seas of lies, so take your pick. I'm trying to tell you this is true, and if you want to check what I say, you just read your Bible, and it's all there. It really makes me sad when people are like, oh, this guy, he's too controversial. It's almost like a conspiracy theory. Wait a minute. What if the 50c3s had like a thing like, if you pray, you're a conspiracy theorist? Imagine. It could be coming soon. Imagine. It could be. So, that all depends on us. So, if you'd really like to be a part of weakening the Prince of America, because he is real. You can read Daniel 10. It's right there. They don't mention America. They mention Greece, Persia. It's all there. Babylon, I think, is in it too. You know, wait a minute. What if the Prince of Babylon just, like, moved? I think, they fly, so it probably wouldn't be that hard. Maybe just, like, because, some of these, like, chosen people and stuff, they're moving, so I don't think that the demons probably did too. And since they rule, I mean, what was the temptation of Christ? Didn't Satan say, I could give you all the kingdoms of the world if you worship me? Something like that. So he's in there. So there's the power. So here's the thing. You see, every time you see these guys going like, all this kind of making these signs and everything. And you know what? I'm going to really stress some people out. There's a guy called Mag Bitter Truth. And I think God's going to bless him, even though he cusses. You know why? Because he exposes deception to the masses. That's pretty cool. And I think God would bless that, because it seems to me that would be like following the 2 greatest commandments. Now, he does cuss a lot, kind of like I smoke sometimes. But, judge not, lest you be judged in the same manner that you judge. And any of you 50c3s say, well, you shouldn't do that if I'm saved by grace. I don't have to. God already did. So good luck with that. So, let's think about all these things. And think about who's president. And the Q train left town already. It was like, where we go one, we go all. It's like a wide road. It looks like it's destructing. I'm not holding anything against you, because I was on it for a little while, but then I saw, this is like, I started praying about it and looking at it, and I'm like, this is like too good to be true. I mean, I feel like I'm in Wonderland every time I read it. So, let's get a new Wonderland, and it's called the Kingdom, and you get to be a part in it right now. Because it's not really that big of a deal who's president. It's about that big of a deal if the Prince of America has this much power. Because many people forget that there was twice as many angels as demons. And every time you see these guys going like this, do you know what that does? That's like giving power to those demons. Because you see, they do have power. And they love worship. Like those worship pastors. Yeah, just like those. They just love it. So, if we could get together on the same page and stop being little spoiled brats, then maybe we could literally have a future. But that all depends on you. Because, what was that Lord's Prayer say? It said, thy will be done, thy kingdom come. So are you in his will and waiting for his kingdom to come? Because if you're not, and you're waiting for the little escape thing, maybe the aliens are another rapture for the faux Christians. Imagine, I don't know, I'm just saying that would be a wild one. But if I was somebody who was really trusting the rapture and being comfortable about being saved and not really worried about my righteousness, and if I love money more than God and all these kinds of, not a good time to be doing that. And if you're fasting, it's not going to be very effective. And see, it's not about you right now. Because remember that one thing about loving God and loving others more than yourself? Well, if God destroyed the whole world, then there would be nothing left. So even if you made it, what would you do? Trying to escape from LA